Hello, and thank you for joining me. I'm Elizabeth Burden, your host for AZ Illustrated Arts. Tonight, see some local circus artists teach a new generation how to fly using aerial silks, and learn the purpose behind this weekend's April Fool's Carnival called MoctoberFest. Find out how a new wave of Mexican filmmakers is being represented at the Cine Mexico Film Festival. And meet best friends Lucy and Ethel when I'm joined in the studio by the stars of I Love Lucy live on stage. But first, today's top stories.
After days and nights of meetings this week, the Arizona House of Representatives appears to have a budget deal. One of the sticking points in the negotiations between House leaders and a group of 6 moderate Republicans was funding to allow school districts to convert some schools to charter schools. House and Senate leaders wanted to end that program, but moderate Republicans fought back. The budget deal puts some money back in the budget to continue the program for another year. The budget deal also includes more money for Child Protective Services and the University of Arizona. The plan must be approved by the Senate and Governor Brewer. The percentage of people without jobs in the state dropped 0.2 of a point from January to February to a seasonally adjusted unemployment rate of 7.3%. While the numbers are showing moderate gains, Arizona's economy is still not rebounding quickly enough to show the state has fully recovered from the recession. That according to state economists. And new data from the U.S. Census Bureau shows the state's population is continuing to grow. According to the latest numbers, Arizona's population grew by 4% between April of 2010 and July of 2013. Growth in the metro Tucson area was slower during that same time period, seeing only about 1.7% increase in the number of people living in the area. The census reports that 3/4 of the people moving to Arizona call Phoenix home. And that's a look at tonight's headlines.
Many of us have wanted to run away with the circus. You don't have to. There's a place to learn more about the circus arts here in southern Arizona. Next, Mitchell Riley catches up with a group of aerial acrobats who are teaching the next generation how to fly.
It's kind of like riding a bike. You just have to learn how to do it, and then you can do it. My name is Catherine Tesh, and we're at the Rhythm Industries Performance Factory, where Tucson Circus Arts is located. I'm a performer with Flamchen Pyrotechnic Theater. I do aerial, stilts, fire performance. We're practicing stilt walking and stilt dancing for an upcoming show with Flamchen Pyrotechnic Theater that we're going to perform at MoctoberFest. We have a few different stilt dances that are part of our repertoire. It's our own interpretation of movements that we put to more like club music. I am watching everybody do the dances and then looking for where things might be different or somebody doesn't know a piece of choreography and try and help them make sure we're all together and we know what we're doing. Aerial silks are 2 pieces of fabric, or 1 piece of fabric that's folded in half, and you hang it from something, and then you can climb and wrap yourself in different ways and do drops and tricks.
It feels like really cool, like if you're a bat hanging upside down in a cave. My name is Lourdes, and I'm 10 years old, and I go to silk class. The best part is that the teacher helped me on doing the tricks, and then I get better at it each time I do it.
Youth aerial silks. It's for any kid that wants to try aerial silks. We have some that are just beginning and some that have been doing it for a while. So they do warm-ups, they do stretches, exercises on the silks to build muscles in their shoulders and their arms, and then they do technique on the silks, which is like tricks, the splits, different locks off the ground, some drops, and then they have to do conditioning. So that's push-ups, sit-ups.
My name is Noah and I'm 10 and I do aerial, silks, or acrobatics. And it's hard, it is, but once you've done something or you've accomplished something really cool, you have this like great feeling inside you and you're like, wow, I actually did that. It's a nice feeling.
I've definitely seen kids come in maybe just like slightly disinterested, or they think, oh, this is just, I'm not going to be good at this. And then they find like something, maybe it's silks, but maybe there's other things, stilt walking or globe balancing or poi, that they really like, or that they actually do have like some innate talent at, and then they connect with that and they want to keep working on it. Lourdes is particularly talented. She picks everything up really quickly, and I think that when she first came, she was really timid, and now, just because I think she picks things up really quickly, it's made her feel good about herself, and she feels more prepared to help other people and more outgoing.
When we're waiting for our turn, we usually talk or we help the other person that's still learning how to do something, and then we get braver. I felt like I was like the weirdest girl in the world and that I didn't have anything special about me, and it made me feel really bad. It feels really amazing that I did that, and it feels like I'm the bravest girl in the world.
And I want them to get just a sense of confidence in themselves, and also just a sense of focus that they can use here and, other places. And also just, strength and exercise in general, and just an appreciation for fitness. I think that's very important too.
Oh, my favorite part is dropping like all the way. Going from the top into the bottom in like less than 5 seconds in a drop.
Nola's a really hard worker. She'll do something over and over and over until she gets it right. And also, she has innate talent as well, but she's definitely somebody that needs to get it right, so she'll work on it until she does.
When you come down, you kind of have like that little fluttery like sensation in your body when you jump really high and then you fall. And it's like that for me. It's just like, it's really exciting, but it's also like a little bit scary at the same time. Well, you just have to keep doing it until you've like conquered it and mastered it, and then it's not very scary anymore.
I think circus is really awesome because a lot of the kids come in and they see us do things and they're like, that is impossible. I'm never going to do that. And then when they do it, it's like, oh, if I work hard, I can do things that are impossible. So that's for me the most important thing. I'm not necessarily trying to make anybody a professional circus performer. If that's their goal, then I'm glad to help them. But I'd rather they learn that if they just work hard and focus, that they can achieve things that they think maybe are impossible. Anybody can do this. You might start at a level where you feel like it's never gonna happen, but if you stick with it, kids, adults, all levels, all body types, whoever you are, if you try and you start and you keep working on it, you can do it.
The start of spring brings with it a new annual festival in Tucson. MoctoberFest is a community carnival that showcases local artisans in a street fair setting. Here to tell us more are Nadia Hagen, the artistic director of Flam Chen, and Ruben Palma, one of MoctoberFest's organizers. Thank you both for joining me. Nadia, tell us a little bit more about MoctoberFest. I gave a brief description, but what is it really?
Sure. So on the surface, the main part is it's a fundraiser. It's our bookend to All Souls. We definitely felt like spring, spring necessitates, joyousness and coming out of our homes, and it's nice and warm, and it's a really wonderful showcase for some of the folks that come and join us every All Souls procession, and for all of our art friends, and just kind of the beginning of the season. We didn't want to wait till just, fundraising at the last moment. And because we live here in Tucson, we wanted to have something that was a little more like a festival of life to bookend our festival of death.
Who is the audience for this festival?
Everybody. We'd really like families and all sorts of folks to come out. Lots of artists come out to support their art friends, and there's workshops. So there's different activities that folks can do all day long. For sure, as we get a little further on in the evening, it'll get a little racier. So the audience, we assume, would get a little more mature, people who can stay up a little later and enjoy the burlesque and the fire show.
Where did the idea for MoctoberFest originate, Ruben?
When I first started to hang out with Flamchen, when I was kind of a fan, there were the Puppet Works folks started to do some springtime events, and it just, I think it just never really had steam, or just maybe it fell apart, and I just was trying to keep the ball rolling, and it kind of served as antithesis. It's halfway through the year from All Souls procession, and we wanted to keep in the spring tradition. We also do a lot of samba dance, which we incorporate in our performance, and Carnival is a big springtime theme as well, and so to incorporate all of these expressions that we share and trade, and keep on with that tradition that we kind of been learning about and we practice.
Well, and it seems like this is an example of festal or festival culture.
Yeah,
Nigel, would you say that's
exactly.
true?
Yeah.
What is that, and why is it important in the life of a community?
I think throughout history, I mean, in every culture, there is a festival culture, and I think that people don't even really question it. They kind of just do it. Like if you go, on any kind of site and you look at Mexico, you'll see all their festivals, and and that's kind of the thing that brings the community together. If you had a gripe with somebody, okay, whatever, put on your nice dress and go out in the street and get it out of your system. And I think that it's just that in our culture, because we're Americans, we don't have an agreed upon culture, and we don't have an agreed upon religion. So instead of, I think in everyone's want to respect everybody else's culture and retain their own, there's this, I think over the years we've just sort of lost it. Like we just sort of negated it. We just sort of went, well, if you wear black at funerals and I wear white at funerals, then let's just not go to a funeral together or something, like let's just like can it, like let's just take it off the table as far as discussion. But I think that festal culture in its root has so many things in common, where people really go into the common space and celebrate in the common space, and use like handicrafts and folklore, and really change their appearance, costuming and music. Those things are through lines through everybody's culture.
Why is it still relevant in the digital social media age?
I think that just being in a room vibing with a person, there's never going to be a replacement for that. There's never a replacement for the smell, for the taste, and yeah, for vibe. I mean, Carnival is all about the vibration or the cachet of something, and so the cultures that still hold that in high esteem. I think that's really important.
Ruben, what do you hope this event achieves for the community?
A lot. I wanted to just keep that ball rolling, and that awareness for All Souls and this huge community event where people don't even question really what ethnic or cultural significance. We just come out and we do it, and so just to keep that in our mindsets throughout the year, to remember like, hey, this thing, it's us. This is our community. It's our city, and so just to.
You mentioned that you see this as the antithesis, though, of All Souls. So how so? How is it the antithesis?
Well, because All Souls is so serious, and we're really reflecting, and it's really conscious about our intention in remembering these lives that have passed away and really remembering these people that we loved and celebrating their life. And
Beer.
so this as antithesis, we want to have fun, and so we are so
Right,
serious.
there are certain things, right, at All Souls that I would think are disrespectful to a certain extent, you know, but this, you could be more sexy, you could be more silly, and it's about embracing that as opposed to, you know, feeling that we're, you know, disrespecting someone's relatives.
So we only have about a minute left, so I have a question about fire. So what's with the fire? Flamchen fire, you're inviting fire performance to be, why fire?
Fire is the foundation, and a foundation of community, of society. It's what makes us evolved as men, and harnessing and controlling this uncontrollable beast, basically.
I think for me, I would say that in the late 90s, I mean, that fire troops and that kind of performance, like embracing that, really was the start of the reincarnation of festal culture, you know, in Burning Man on the West Coast, but all over the country. That art form really got young people away from the TV, out at night, and kind of back into their bodies.
Nadia, Ruben, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
I'm Judy Woodruff. On the next NewsHour, President Obama's first meeting with Pope Francis at the Vatican. That's Thursday on the PBS NewsHour.
Christine Lagarde, head of the IMF, says if as many women were in the workforce as men, it would lift the whole economy.
The level of GDP could be up 27% in a country like India, but also up 9% in Japan and up 5% in the United States of America.
I'm Linda Wertheimer. Women and Money on the next morning edition from NPR News.
Alfonso Cuarón's Best Director Oscar at this year's Academy Awards documents the growing influence of the Mexican film industry. This weekend, the University of Arizona's Hanson Film Institute presents the Tucson Cine Mexico Film Festival. Next, Luis Carrion visits the Mexican consulate in Tucson, a co-sponsor of the festival, for a preview.
This is the 9th edition of the Cine Mexico Film Festival. What I've found interesting is that it's the first film festival outside of Mexico that features exclusively Mexican films. So it's historic, it's the first of its kind outside of Mexico, and it's also one of the few in the world, around the world, that focused again exclusively on Mexican films. In this edition, the 9th edition, we're gonna feature 7 films. Most of them, if not all, have been given awards around the world and also in Mexico.
Ellos son los nobles. El mi rey. Les presento a la Cuba más grande del mundo. El hipster.
Yeah, nosotros los nobles, or we the noble. It's kind of like a play with words. It's a comedy, and just to gain more of the people's attention, we're gonna have the director and the main actor of that movie here with us in Tucson.
Mucho más profunda que eso.
It's about a wealthy businessman that sees that his children are pretty spoiled. So he develops an idea, a plan to, you know, get their feet on the ground, as we say in Mexico. This plan, he says that, well, he's gonna tell children that his company's going broke and that they have to move out of their house, and also that they have legal issues, legal problems. So the kids have, for the first time in their lives, have to learn how to work. So the comedy revolves around that. It's a huge movie. It was a huge success in Mexico. Eli it's a movie that was submitted by Mexico to the Oscars for Best Foreign Film, and it also won a Best Director award at the Cannes Film Festival. It's an interesting movie detailing, you know, life in the border. It can be said that it's a violent movie, but it showcases rough, you know, social issues that's going on around the border.
Ya no quiero viajar ya con ese indio. Nos vamos a ir los tres, ¿entendiste?
Paula Loro, it's about a group of young immigrants that travel from Central America to the border up in the US. And the movie details, their path. They meet some people along the way, they have to deal with certain situations. So, and it's also a drama. And the interesting part is you can see, what these migrants, have to deal with not only in their home countries and make them leave their home countries, but also their travel through Mexico towards the border.
¿Las canciones tienen que ser propias? Sí, tener material original.
People will be very interested in Somos Maripepa or We Are Maripepa. Maripepa is a young rock band. And the story centers on one of its members. His name is Alex, he lives in Guadalajara. And during the summer, he has different plans on what he's going to do in the summer, including winning the Battle of the Bands contest. So the movie centers around his life during that summer and life lessons that he has to learn, and he has different ordeals that he has to travel, as any young people might have during a specific summer. The 9th edition of the film festival. Throughout these years, we have had great movies focusing on, as I mentioned, historic issues, historic pieces, but also on deep social issues that in Mexico and along the border. So I think here in Tucson, people might identify themselves with a lot of these movies as well.
Tucson Cine Mexico begins tonight and continues through Sunday. We have a link to the schedule online at news.azpm.org. Television's first blockbuster sitcom, I Love Lucy, continues to be discovered by new fans more than 60 years after its debut. A new stage show recreates the experience of being in the audience for a live taping of I Love Lucy episodes. Joining me now are Serena Irwin, the actress who transforms herself into the character of Lucy Ricardo, and Joanna Daniels, who plays Lucy's best friend, Ethel Mertz. Thank you both for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
What's it like to bring iconic TV characters and personalities to the stage? Serena, start with you.
Well, as you can imagine, it's pretty terrifying at first because we know that these characters are living deeply in the hearts of viewers who've been watching them, as you said, since the early 50s. So after getting out of a panic-stricken terror, like,
we're gonna do what?
Huh? Okay. Then it was just, let's go to work. Let's figure out, for me, it was, what makes Lucy Ricardo tick? Who is this character? What are her little iconic gestures, sayings, phrases, things that I felt really need to be captured? Rick Sparks, our director, was really clear with all of us from the outset that he didn't want impersonations. He wanted us to be actors that are living in these characters. But of course, we are honoring these iconic characters that mean so much to so many. So it was that balance.
So Joanna, how did you prepare to play Ethel?
Well, after you get over the initial, I'm doing what? It's an honor, a true honor, because these characters have meant so much. We see fans that come to the show in tears, and they all have stories to tell about what this show meant. So once you kind of get over that, and then you think, okay, I'm an actor in a play, and then you think, what is it that makes them lovable or recognizable? What is it people think of when they think of Ethel? What is it they think of when they think of Lucy? We watched the episodes to sort of get the timing of their rhythm, because that was such an important part of their foursome. Just their vocal inflections and little mannerisms, things that they do.
What's the premise of this particular play? So 2 episodes but tell us a little bit about the background of the story of the stage play.
Well, the stage play is, for the audience members, it's as if they are a studio audience member at a filming of 2 episodes of I Love Lucy. So we're really bringing people back in time. It's the early 1950s. You're walking in. There are some actors milling about in the audience, so you start to become engaged right from the offset. Then we have a host, Maury Jasper, we call him, who is really the hub of our wheel because he takes the audience on the whole journey. It's sort of like a warm-up guy would be these days. And then we have the Crystal Tone Singers, who are our resident singing and dancing group, and they sing commercial jingles from the era. They do a medley of popular songs from 1952. And so you're seeing all this as you would if you had been an audience member for a filming.
So are you in character as the TV show characters the entire time, or is it part of the time as you are the actor portraying the character portraying the actor, if you get what I'm saying? Are you being Lucille Ball as well as Lucy Ricardo? Are you,
and our heads are.
or is there a transition there?
It's a very delicate balance because for our show, you're not going to see any of the we all have heard and we've of course read all of the stories and tales of behind the scenes, some of them maybe not as pleasant as others. And our producers made a choice from the onset to not engage in that. So you will see some very vague behind the scene. You will see the way that a set operates, almost like things are here. You have the camera people and you've got the lights and you have, for a sitcom, insert shots and etc. And that is brought to light, but you won't see the nitty-gritty details of the relationships between the
So, Joanna, I'll start with you. What part of your character do you most identify with?
Oh, goodness. Probably the friendship, being supportive of a good friend, and being spontaneous and ready to make a fool out of myself at any turn with somebody who's also willing. I love that about Ethel. I love that Ethel was always, at first, a little confused about it, but then always ended up going along for the ride and getting a real kick out of it. So, say that.
Serena, same question.
I think it's funny because for me, it's also the willingness to be the fool. And I've never been afraid to be foolish, and certainly
you've made a career out of it, as a matter of fact.
Absolutely. Woo! To the clowns of the world. And so I felt that was something I definitely resonated with. And the friendship that is happening between Lucy and Ethel is so rich and delightful and fun, and the mischief that the two of them get into. And then even when they want something so bad and it doesn't happen, they're okay with it not happening because they still had this incredible adventure together,
Well, in the last little minute that we have left, is this nostalgic or something else? Why the interest in I Love Lucy after 60 years?
Interesting question.
Just plain good, I think. The writing is so tight. I always say it's kind of like a TV dinner or comfort food that, it's been around. It's something that spans the generations. I've had my 9-year-old son came and brought 9 of his 9-year-old friends to see I Love Lucy. And then they're there with grandparents as well. It's something that families can feel safe coming. They're not going to see anything questionable. And it's just a good, sweet, fun time.
Well, Serena, Irwin, Joanna, Daniels, thank you both for joining me.
Thank you.
I Love Lucy Live on Stage continues through Sunday at Centennial Hall, and we have a link for more information online at news.azpm.org. You can visit us online at news.azpm.org to post a comment on any of our stories or to keep up with the latest news. I'm Elizabeth Burden. Thank you for watching AZ Illustrated Arts.